Hi there, Year 2. What's the time? For me, it is now 1 o'clock. But I wonder, do you think it's 1 o'clock AM or 1 o'clock PM? When am I recording this video? Am I recording it in the middle of the night at 1 AM? Or am I recording it just after lunchtime at 1 PM? I think you can probably make a good guess. So, if it's 1 PM now, what time will it be in 1 hour? If it's 1 PM now, what time will it be in 30 minutes? As our first questions, because our first In Focus task today, well, our only one, but the In Focus task today is all about this. We are going to be looking at intervals of time. So here is our In Focus. There's a train going along, and we've got this time here. We've got 3 hours, 3. The minutes pointing to the 12, so we know that is o'clock, 3 o'clock. In 30 minutes, the train will reach Castletown. In 1 hour, the train will reach Temple Street. What time will it be when the train reaches Castletown? What about Temple Street? So I'd like you to pause the video. I'd like you to have a think. If you've got a paper clock that you've made earlier in the week or the interactive one on the website, I'd like you to use those to see if you can have a think about what time the train will arrive at its 2 destinations. Then you can press play when you're ready for us to have a think and a chat together. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that screen and look back at myself here with my clock. Now I've set my clock now to 3 o'clock, which is exactly the same as in the In Focus task. Now the first question about Castletown was what time will it be when the train gets to Castletown? And the In Focus task said it will reach Castletown in 30 minutes. Well, if it's minutes, I'm going to be looking at my long clock hand because that's my minutes. And I want to count on 30. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember that my numbers around the side, they go up in 5s. They go up in 5s and they're worth 5 minutes each. So I'm going to count up in 5s until I get to 30. We'll see what that looks like. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now, I can see that my minute hand has moved 30 minutes because we counted in 5s, and that is also the same as half past. That's halfway round this circle. If I cover up half, you can see I've moved half. So it's half past. Half past what? Well, I was at 3 o'clock, so I'm going to move this hour hand halfway in between 3 and 4. So the time now says 3:30. Or we could say the time is 3:30. Okay, so that is the time it gets to Castletown. Now there's a second part of the In Focus, and that said, what about Temple Street? The train will get to Temple Street 1 hour after 3 o'clock. I'm going to set my clock back to 3 o'clock. There it is. 1 hour. Now, if it's going to go 1 hour, I could do a couple of things. I know this is my hour hand, so if it's 1 hour, I'm just going to simply move that on 1 hour. If my clock turns 1 hour, what will happen to my minute hand? Well, on a regular clock, a real clock with batteries, not a paper one like this, on a real clock, 1 hour would move the minute hand around one whole circle, the whole way around, because that is 1 hour, 60 minutes. So I have moved my minute hand one whole way around, and I've moved my hour hand one number around from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So there's the answer. What time will it get to Temple Street? It will get to Temple Street at 4 o'clock. Okay. Now, there's another train, and at the moment, it is, what's the time at the moment? At the moment, it is this time here. Can you shout out to your camera what time is on my clock? And hopefully you have said 1:15 or 1:15. Just going to write that down at the bottom of mine as well. So I've got two ways of saying it. 1:15 or 1:15. There it is. Now the same thing's happening. This train is going along the tracks. It's 1:15 at the moment, and it will get to Mr. Clutterbuck's house. We'll get to my house in 30 minutes. So we'll get there in 30 minutes. Okay. I wonder what the time will be after 30 minutes. Well, I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to move my minute hand on 30 minutes and count up in fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now, my hour hand was 1/4 of the way between 1 and 2. But 30 minutes, I'm just going to use my hand to show you, that's how much I moved it. That was half an hour. It was half an hour. So my hour hand has not moved on a whole hour, moved on half an hour. If you remember back to your fractions, 1/2 is the same as 2/4. So it was at 1/4 of the way, and now it's at 3/4 of the way to 2 o'clock. 30 minutes later, it's still within this time between 1 and 2. But remember, when we get over here, instead of saying past, we say 2. So I could say it's 1:45, and I need to write something else down at the bottom. Now, my hour is 1, and my minutes are 45. So my new time is 1:45, 30 minutes after 1:15. Okay, last one. My clock says 3:45 or 4:45. 3:45 or 4:45. That's what my clock says. Now the train's going along. It's 3:45 at the moment. It will arrive at Woodlands Park train station, the magical one which we are building outside our school, in 1 hour's time. 1 hour. So 3:45, 1 hour's time. Now remember, I'm going to think about my hour hand. It's going to move on 1 hour. So if it's just 4:45, 4:45, the minutes aren't going to change. The minutes, I could move them the entire way round, one whole revolution all the way around, but they should end up back where they started. That's what happens with 1 hour. The minute hand will go exactly to where it was before. And instead of 3:45, it is now 4:45. And our new clock will look like this. Okay, now for your challenge today, we have given you some clocks. I'm just going to share what they look like. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so we've given you some clocks. And what we'd like you to do is pick a clock and tell us what will the time be 30 minutes later and what will the time be 1 hour later. So here's my clock. It says 2 o'clock at the moment. The time 30 minutes later will be 2:30, 2:30 or 30 minutes past 2 o'clock. And the time 1 hour later will be 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. There we go. Now if I scroll down the page, you can see loads and loads of clocks here. Lots and lots and lots. Oh my goodness. Now, we probably don't expect you to complete all of them. There are so many. And I've written this little sentence here just for mums and dads, which says, we expect you to do about 20 minutes work. So some of you will complete lots of these clocks, telling me what is half an hour later and what is 1 hour later. Some of you will complete not so many, and that is absolutely fine. You need to work at the right level for you, and you need to know when is a good time to stop, when is it a good time to carry on. So we suggest about 20 minutes of independent time. Okay. Good luck, everybody. I hope you can use all of your skills this week to think about what is half an hour later, what is an hour later. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.